Abby is a kind of person who usually just can't say no.
But if you don't read your Bible, like I feel like
What's up, what's up?
welcome back to the By Grace podcast with
Miss Trudy.
and LJ. So nice to see you guys again here on our next episode.
I hope you're feeling excited. I hope you've got your
Yeah.
popcorn. Stay tuned in.
Yes.
We're about to have a very interesting topic.
Yeah, today's going to be very interesting. I feel like we're going to be tapping into a lot of personal things and experiences. And, hopefully by the end of this episode, you guys are going to be like, wow, like, feel so inspired,
Are you ready to get personal?
Yeah. Let's get personal, guys. Really personal.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So where do we start?
I want to start with our journey on YouTube, like each individual ones to tap into like the rest of the topics. So I really want to know like what made you start your YouTube channel? Why did you start? When you started, did you like doubt yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. When I started my YouTube channel, I was so confused. I was so lost.
Mm-hmm.
I had just gotten fired from a job that I had been doing for about 3 years, working in the supermarket, feeling so lost. And just when I thought, I was moving to the next level, I actually got fired. So I was so lost, scared, confused. I used to cry a lot. I used to just pray and I used to feel so confused. But thank God it happened because it led me to, where I am today.
Oh, nice. So what made you like pick up the camera and say like, I'm going to start filming YouTube videos? Like,
Well, I was watching YouTube. I discovered YouTube and I just used to see music videos. And then later on, I saw Black people creating content. I was like, okay, wow, this is new. And then the moment I saw a Kenyan doing it, she's actually called Wabosha Maxine.
ooh,
I was like, okay, this is it for me, man. This is it.
wow, you saw a Kenyan?
Yeah,
That's
I saw
crazy.
Kenyan doing it,
Oh,
creating
nice.
content.
Wow.
So God bless you, Abosha, wherever you are. You are instrumental in me actually starting my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So yeah. How about you?
I started on YouTube as well. I know a lot of people nowadays they start on TikTok and Instagram, but I started back on YouTube in around like 2015. I was just in college. I was very much like doing nothing during the weekends.
Yeah.
Like I was like I made a rule actually in college and I said like I'm not going to be studying during the weekends. Like I want to do something that I love. And I used to watch a lot of like YouTube videos. Back in the day, who was popping for me was this YouTuber. I don't know if she still does YouTube, but she was very popular. She actually still is. I see her on TikTok. Her name is Makeup Doll. She used to do like voiceover videos where she used to do makeup. And I also used to really love Makeup Shayla when she came back on YouTube because she was on YouTube and then she disappeared. And I was like, where did she go? She came back on YouTube and I was like, wow, I felt really inspired to start my makeup channel, just seeing all these girlies doing it and slaying. And I was like, wow. I remember when I first started, I was like trying to have the perfect setup, like everything perfect. But, you have to start from somewhere.
I know, right?
So, yeah.
Ain't it crazy how you just never know who you are impacting in life?
Exactly.
I think these ladies were just doing their thing, but then we came across them and they made such a positive impact.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, someone else who really inspired me was Caroline Motuko. I don't know if you know her.
No.
She used to be on radio growing up. She used to be this woman on radio. Every morning we'd tune in and she'd be speaking.
Oh, nice.
And I just used to inspire. She just used to inspire me so much.
Yeah.
I really used to look up to her. She used to be very courageous and outspoken. I was like, damn, if she's doing it, maybe one day I can.
On radio,
and this is like every day on radio, growing up, every day. Switch on the radio, she's going to be there, Kiss FM.
Oh, wow. Oh, I remember Kiss FM.
Yeah, she used to be there every morning. And
That's
I was like,
awesome.
wow, this woman, like, I really used to look up to her.
Yeah.
And she opened up my mind to, what is possible.
Yeah.
And I think she made me fall in love with not content creation, but media.
Yeah.
That's why I did communication in campus. She just played a big role,
Oh,
and
nice.
I just want to tell any woman out there doing their thing, do your thing, because you never know who you inspire.
I know, exactly. Yeah. And I love that. I love that you were able to watch women that inspired you, especially like Kenyan women, because I feel like sometimes we have the narrative like, oh, it's only like a certain like country that has access to all these things. We can't do it. So I love that you were able to like see these Kenyan women
Yeah.
doing it, and you were super inspired. I love that.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
So, I want to talk about money.
Yeah.
What do you think about money? Some people say money is good. Some people
Uh-huh.
say money is bad. Others say money is evil.
Uh-huh.
But the truth is, like it or not, money makes the world go round.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. It's so funny that you mentioned that, because when I used to be like a little younger, like back in college, I used to think money was evil because of the Bible verse that says like money is the root to many kinds of evil. The love of money is the root to many kinds of evil. I used to take that as money is the root of all evil. But I realized I was reading it wrong. It's like the love of money. If you love money,
Yeah.
that's when it becomes evil, right?
Yeah.
So I used to be so scared. I was like, I don't want to be rich. I just want to be comfortable. I want to just make my money and be quiet. I don't want to be too rich. But sometimes it's just like, it's what you do with the money.
That's
that makes
true.
You, yeah.
I also feel the mentality some people have in Africa,
Mhm.
because pastors be preaching and they're like, all that money, you won't go with it to heaven. Like all that money you're making will make you lose, your entrance to heaven. How
Yeah,
they say
exactly.
the entrance to heaven. I don't know how the verse goes. Is as thin as a needle, the hole of the needle.
Yeah.
So only a few will remain. Stop working
What?
so hard. Instead, come to church every day. I don't know if you've seen such pastors.
No, I have. And it's just really, it's so sad because some people believe those things.
Oh,
like,
it's sad, yeah.
yeah, it's just sad because it's like you're just manipulating people and trying to use people so that they can give you money so you can get richer.
Do you experience that here in the States?
Yeah, of course. There's so many
Oh,
churches.
really?
Yeah, I've attended many churches that encourage you to give, and I mean, like, encourage you to give to the church, right? But don't encourage them, making them feel like, oh, if you don't give, you're not going to be rich, and this is how God blesses you.
Oh,
Because
wow.
no,
You know what that reminds me of?
what?
The 10%. When they say give, is there actually a Bible in the verse that says you have to give 10%? And it doesn't mean money.
What I've seen in the Bible is God talking about giving to the needy. Like, if you're giving 10% to a church and you're not giving to the needy, are you really doing what God is telling you
That's
to
the
do?
question.
Because God tells us, yeah, give to the needy, give to the widows, give to those who don't have shelter, who don't have food. That's what giving is all about. That's what giving to God is all about.
Are you telling me that I am not supposed to give 10% of the money I make to the pastor?
Hey, child, listen, do what you want to do. I'm not going to discourage you to give to a church, but you also want to make sure that you're giving to the people around you and you're giving to those who don't have,
Guys, you gotta let us know what you think about this, because it's
Yeah.
very scary. Because there's a time I was really praying that God give me the wisdom, help me understand what it is that you actually want me to do. Because pastors are preaching and they're saying you have to give us your 10%.
Yeah, because it's free for him to do it, right? I'm going to use my church, give you all these words that are not true.
Yeah.
And you're going to give to me and I'm going to make money.
That's crazy.
So people just use the words freely. But if you don't read your Bible, like, I feel like people can really take advantage, especially pastors. They can take advantage of that.
I feel like this is a hot topic. This is a hot topic. So you
Yeah.
have to let us know what you think. It is so crazy.
Yeah.
Different churches say different things. And I know many Africans, many Christians, we believe that you have to give. Are we making sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Do you still believe that money has to go to the pastor because he's preaching the word of God to you? Or would you rather put your money in foundations, children homes? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
How would you say, like, making money in Africa is? Like, what's your experience with that?
Oh, let me tell you, making money in Africa is not easy.
Really?
First of all, you've got to pray. You need God's favor because there's so many people and there's no jobs. I know you can relate, guys. Our governments, they're not doing nothing. So you find that people have to create job for themselves. And even the jobs that are there, teachers are not getting paid, even doctors, nurses. And that's why you see many people in Africa are coming to the US for better opportunities, going to Canada and to Europe, because we just don't have jobs in Africa. And the governments, when they're coming to power, they'll be promising us, oh, we're going to create jobs. But when they come, it's so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I read somewhere where it says, like, Africa has, like, one of the biggest population when it comes to young people, like the younger generation, and it's growing so rapidly. So even my experience, like being born and raised in Kenya, I came here when I was 11 years old. I know my parents used to say all the time, like, "Oh, we got like." My mom used to say, like, "I got to bring you guys here to the U.S. because in Kenya, like, the jobs are just so hard for you to find. Like, you have
Mhm.
to top your class and all that stuff." And so she was just really trying to struggle to get us here in the US, just for better opportunities and a better life. And I'm so thankful that she did that. So yeah, it's just
That's crazy. Because even when you get these jobs in Africa, first of all, they're hard to get. And
hmm
when you get them, there's just so much corruption.
hmm
It's crazy.
wow.
People just want to hire their relatives, their friends, and then you'd be doing the same job for 20 years, no promotion, same
Oof.
salary. I
Wow.
feel like in the US, at least you grow.
Yeah. So I would definitely say it's okay. From what I've heard from people, it's definitely you can definitely earn more here and you don't have to be like the top of the class in order for you to get a job here. Like there's so many jobs that you can get. Now, as far as growth, I don't know how it is in the corporate world because I've never had a corporate job, but from what I hear, it's like you have to level yourself. You have to like make sure that you're striving for more and always striving for more in order for you to get up there. So it does become hard when you're trying to like move from the entry level position to like higher positions and stuff. You definitely have to probably take exams and compete and all that stuff in order for you to get up the corporate ladder. And I would say I've personally heard from some of my friends who work in corporate jobs, like if you're black, you have less of an opportunity to
Oh,
do that.
wow. Really?
Yes,
So
definitely.
it's true.
Yeah, it's true. Based on my friends' experiences. Like I've heard multiple friends say that. Multiple.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So it's a give and take. Like, you have opportunities, but then you have things like where like racism exists and
Have you experienced
discrimination.
racism?
Yes, of course. I
Really?
mean,
Do you
yeah.
mind sharing?
I've had many racist encounters, but the most recent one was when I was at the airport and we were standing. I think I even like vlogged this and posted it on my TikTok, but we were standing on a line in the airport and it was like the airlines, but then we're standing on the first class line. And it's so funny because I knew I was supposed to stand there and the lady came and she was like, "Oh, you got to go all the way down there. You got to go all the way down there to print your QR code,
Mhm.
um, and then bring the QR code and then scan it on like some screen or something." And I was like, "What?" Like I was so confused because it's like I'm already on in the line. And I asked her, I was like, "So we gotta go all the way, everybody has to go all the way down there to print a QR code and come back here?" She's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "What is this line for?" And she was like, "Oh, baby, that's first class." And I was like, "Yeah, we are in first class." And she was like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I thought I asked you that." And I was like, "No, you didn't. You didn't ask." She just assumed that we were not part of first class.
Wow. Just because you're
Yeah,
black.
exactly. Exactly. Because everybody else was in line and she never asked them.
Wow. Oh, everyone
She
else was white.
Everyone else, actually we had somebody who was Asian right in front of us and she asked like, "Oh, do you have your ticket?" And she saw the ticket and it was first class. And then us, she was like,
That's
"You got to go all the way down." She
crazy.
didn't
That is
ask.
so crazy.
So I think like I want to have a little bit of grace and say maybe she wasn't being, she wasn't discriminating.
Mhm.
But for me, I just felt like she was because why wouldn't you
Wow.
ask like, "Oh, are you guys in first class? Oh, you're not in first class. Okay, this is what you should do." You know?
It's crazy that she just assumed that.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I myself, I haven't had many racist experiences.
Uh huh.
Well, maybe because I also don't just interact with many white people. You know how Kenya is.
Yeah.
We are mostly black,
Mm-hmm.
and you see white people when you go to some places.
Yeah.
So yeah, the only closest thing to racism that I have experienced is the time we went to Dubai
Mm-hmm.
with my hubby and we were moving around. It was this time when they were showing what is it called? Different countries were showing different what is the event I told you I attended?
Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. They have it in Japan now.
Yeah.
This year. Uh,
What is the name? Where different countries come together and show what they're doing for the future.
yeah.
When I remember the name, Expo.
The expo. Yeah.
Dubai Expo. It was in 2023. So we went there and we were having a good time. We were looking around and I think we passed a certain lady and she was Arabic.
Mm.
Arabics are Arabic. So are they white?
I mean, depends on where they're from. I think Arabic is just like, I guess maybe like their I don't know.
Yeah, so we
Ethnicity?
passed her, and that she suddenly became so angry and so
Yeah.
rude
Where was
towards
she
my
from?
hubby.
She was from.
I think she was from there.
Okay.
So she just became so rude, and I was like, "What? What's wrong with you?"
Mm-hmm.
And she started speaking down on my hubby. And all of a sudden, oh my
It's like,
god,
how? What did she
it's
say?
like a light switch came, was switched on or something. Like, who
Uh-huh.
do you think you are? Why you? And she was just degrading him, and I felt so bad. And my hubby is so kind, so I had to stand up and speak up. You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave her a taste of her medicine, and I just told her, just don't think you can talk to us anyhow because you're
Yeah.
black.
Exactly.
We can stand up for ourselves.
Yeah.
You
They just
know?
look at you like you don't deserve to like walk past me. Like, who do you think you
Yeah,
are?
like
Like,
what the hell?
yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't stand up for that. Like I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely speak up for myself.
Yeah, it's just very sad, honestly, to see. And we're just praying and hoping, like, in the future that we can see like us not being viewed as less of a human being
Mhm.
than we are, because I believe that God created us all equal. God loves us all equally, and I feel like you shouldn't be prejudiced against somebody. Especially not like we're in 2025. Like, come
I
on,
know, right?
like, come on,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Talk about money.
Hmm.
Um, who are some of the people who you really think have money, or who make you think, or who inspire you to make money, or who make you want to be rich?
Oof. Um, Back in the day, it was Oprah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in the day, because like Oprah was like, I think was she like the first black
For me, it
billionaire
was the first. I
woman?
didn't know. I didn't know. I don't up to date. I don't know about anyone
Well, she
else.
was, yeah, she was the first that we knew in our family. Like, we used to be like, dang, Oprah got money.
Mm-hmm.
When you see her net worth like 2 billion, you're like, what? A black woman?
Yeah.
So it really inspired you to know that, you being black doesn't really limit you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't personally know Oprah. I don't like live a day to day with her. Like, I've never met her before, but just based on what we hear online about her, it was just really inspiring. And also, I think I read about like her upbringing, how she used to be so broke and all that stuff, and she really went through like moments in her life where it like traumatized her. Um, so it was just like, super relatable. And I think one day she was talking about how she went to a store, and then the lady, she experienced a racist encounter where the lady was like trying to tell her like she can't afford to buy a
Can you
bag.
imagine?
Yeah, and then
That's
she was
crazy.
like, "Excuse me, like, do you know how much money I have?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, man.
yeah, don't look. The Bible says don't look at the person on the outside. You have to look at the person on the
Mhm.
inside. That's why you can't judge somebody if you don't know what they got going on or who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, it's always been opera. Like, oh my God. Like, wow, like she's got money. And
Yeah.
it was like, it's like, yo, if a black woman can do it, so can I.
Yeah,
And she
exactly.
did it in the States in spite of her background because she
Mhm.
talked about how she was, the mom was a house help
Mhm.
and the grandmother. And I remember her saying the biggest dream for her from the grandma was that she'd get some good white folks.
Mhm.
White folks who wouldn't mistreat her as a house
Mhm.
help. And looking back, she's like, damn, if my grandma was alive right now
Mhm.
and she'd see all these white people working for me, she'd be blown away.
Wow.
For me, she just shows that really nothing is
Mhm.
impossible. So, and then I also love what you're saying earlier. She's very rich, but she doesn't squander her money. You
Yeah.
wouldn't tell she's rich.
Like, literally, yeah, like she's I don't like I said, I don't know her everyday day-to-day life, so I don't know if she has like all these crazy cars, but she doesn't like flex her cars on social media like, yeah, look at all these, oh yeah, I have these mansions. And does she? I don't keep
I
up with
don't
her
think so.
anymore.
No, she doesn't. I
Really?
think she's always about empowering young women. She's not perfect, obviously,
Mhm.
but I love what she does because she has a book club, always talking about what book are we reading today or
Mm.
what book are we reading this month,
Mhm.
and interviews. And uh, I really don't know anything negative about Oprah, but I know she's not perfect. We are all human.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
Oprah was the first symbol of money.
Yeah.
A woman for me.
Yeah.
And maybe now we should talk about you and money. What's your relationship with money? How did you first make money?
First on social media
Mm-hmm.
specifically. Of course it was like my YouTube channel, because back in the day YouTube was still paying. Like, it wasn't like social media nowadays where you have like platforms like Instagram that don't really like pay, like
Oh, it's so
monetize.
unfair.
Yeah, I wish Instagram would pay, but YouTube, back in the day, they when I first started my YouTube channel, YouTube was actually paying anybody who started creating content on YouTube. It was never like where they had requirements where you had to have 10,000 subscribers. Like I remember like when I dropped my first videos, I was checking like how much I made and it was like 2 cents. But then it was
Oh
like
wow.
it was still being monetized. My channel was still being monetized. So when when my YouTube channel took off, I think it was like 2021 ish. No, 2022 is when it really started taking off, and that's when I could see like, wow, like I can do this full time. Like this is like full time income, and I was just like, I have to just keep this consistent, and started focusing on it, like being consistent, being intentional about the content I'm posting, and really posting content that helps people. Like I focus mainly on makeup tutorials, so I like to educate people on how to do their makeup. And once I started seeing great feedback with people saying like, wow, like I love how you explain things, it just made me feel like, oh wow, I'm actually like impacting people's lives and helping them with their makeup routine, their beauty routines. Yeah. So that's like my first encounter. What about you?
Before I talk about myself, I just want to know
Mhm.
what amount of money did you make that made you go like, oh my god, maybe there's a future.
It was $3,000
Oh,
on, yeah, on the first month my channel started taking off. I was like,
really?
wow, because it was a lot. Why?
Because that's a lot.
Oh,
To shock you, because I'm saying that because me, the first amount of money that I made was like $1,000, and I was like, oh my god, it's possible, you know?
no, but that's a lot for a creator who's based in Africa. Like, are
Yeah,
you
it was a
kidding me?
lot. It was a lot.
$1,000? Like, wow.
Because before then, I had made like $100, and I was like, oh, how am I gonna sustain myself with $100? You
Is
know,
$100 like super valuable in Kenya? Like, would you say?
not
Like, do people
really.
get salaries of $100 a month?
You will get at least $300 a month or $400. So
Yeah.
$100, like, it's not a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking this one, what I want to do full time.
Hmm.
Like, this is at first. Oh, let me tell you, the first time I made 100, I was head over heels. I
Hmm.
was super excited. I
Hmm.
was all over the place. Like, oh my god, you know, because
Yeah.
I was making nothing for like a year on YouTube, doing YouTube and making nothing.
Yeah.
And my family started telling me, you need to find something that will actually give you an income, something
Yeah.
that you can sustain
Yeah.
or can sustain you.
Hmm.
Yeah. So after making $100 and being excited, a few months later, I was like, damn, I wish I could do better. You know.
Yeah.
Then that's why when I made $1,000, I was like, oh my god, this is it. It's
Yeah.
possible. It can be
You're
done.
like, I'm rich.
Yeah,
I'm rich.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
So
how I felt. That's honestly how I felt. I mean, when you're coming from nothing and you're actually making something, like you're super happy about like the small that you've made.
mhm.
Not $3,000 is not small. Honestly, here in the US, I think it's good money for you to make as like on social media. You know, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would highly encourage you, like if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, definitely get started. Like it's free for you to create videos. Maybe it might not be free for you to get like the equipment, like the camera. You can use your phone. Like start a YouTube
Yeah,
channel or start a
definitely start with
TikTok.
what you have.
Start with what you have because even TikTok is paying
Which
now.
is crazy. You guys
Yeah.
actually making money in the US. What?
On TikTok,
That
yeah.
is, you know, in Africa, they're not paying us yet.
Which is crazy.
Unless a brand is like, oh, okay, promote this for me, and then they'll pay you. But
Yeah.
TikTok
But
itself,
they're not like TikTok is not actually. Do you guys have TikTok shop?
I don't even know about that. And that's
Really?
maybe it's there. Cause see, because they're not paying us on TikTok, I just stopped wasting my time.
Yeah.
Like, why would I waste my time on TikTok and I'm not getting paid?
Exactly.
But coming to the States and seeing you, I've gotten so inspired.
Mhm.
I'm like, yo, I think a time is coming when we're also gonna start getting paid on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to take my TikTok seriously.
You should. Yeah, you never know. They can just decide like, oh yeah, we're paying. Like, you know what I mean? So you never know.
I know, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So, would you say you earn of all the social media platforms?
Mhm.
Where do you make the most money?
Um
TikTok, YouTube. You say Instagram doesn't pay. I thought someone told me
Inst-
Instagram pays in the US.
no, I don't, I mean, not that I know of.
I know
Comment down
Facebook
below.
pays. I know Facebook pays money and it pays good money.
I never knew Facebook paid. Like
the thing.
that's I actually heard it from her. She was like, "Yeah, Facebook pays." And I looked it up and it actually does. I never knew that.
Yeah, all you
Um,
have to do is be consistent, and you gotta have a about 5,000 followers,
yeah.
and be consistent, and you're gonna start getting paid.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm working on. I feel like I've spent so much time and energy just on YouTube. But
Really?
the
Yeah.
world is big and there's so many social media
Yeah.
platforms coming up. So I'm trying to spread my
But
wings
I would say YouTube definitely pays better than other
than
platforms.
TikTok.
Okay. I'm gonna say
Thank God for
with
YouTube.
TikTok, you have more daily viewers. So of course your videos are gonna get more views potentially if
Mhm.
like your videos can go viral. So you can make money on TikTok. You just never know. Like you can post a really good video over so TikTok pays if you only post videos that are over a minute long.
Yeah.
And if your videos are always a minute long, you never know when you can go viral. So it's always best for you to just post because TikTok, like 1 minute long,
Mhm.
like you can post like 10 videos
Yeah.
and maybe one can go viral. So you can make money that way. But YouTube does pay more as far as like, because you're putting like, especially if you're filming like longer form videos,
Mhm.
you can put more ads in your videos. The ads could be paying more depending on the topic that you're talking about. So it just all depends. Like there's so many opportunities for you to make money online and yeah, why not take advantage?
Talking about making money on social media, we were talking about this yesterday about how you just need to trust the process. Sometimes you put so much effort and you're like, yep, this will definitely be it. This will blow up.
Mhm.
And then it lets you down. And then there's some content you put up and it's like, oh, this surprised me.
Yeah,
I didn't think you
exactly.
would do this
I know,
well, right?
right? It's crazy. Social media is just wild, man. Let me tell you, like, I recently posted a video, like, I think it was like 7 seconds long.
And it got 2 million in 2 days. Was it 2 million?
No, 20,
Oh my God, it was 20 million.
20
That's
million.
crazy.
Which it blew my mind because it was a last minute post. I had it in my drafts and I was like, ah, let me just post it. And I went to sleep. Like I
Then you
posted
woke
it.
up and it's like, what?
I was like, what in the world? Like, are you kidding
20
me?
million in 2 days. That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. I've never experienced
And you
that.
didn't
But
even think you'd make that much. It was a video which you almost were discarded or something.
that's what I'm saying. So I just
Yeah.
decided to post it. I was like, what can I lose? You know?
Yeah, it's so
So you
crazy.
just you just never know. And I actually used to battle like that. Like just trying to think like, oh, this video's they're gonna love this. They're gonna love this. Then I post it and it doesn't do well. It's so
It's so crazy.
discouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like for me nowadays I've learned to think about the long term. Like it's more about building a community than just posting a viral video,
Yeah.
posting a video that gets views. You want to post a video where your returning viewers are enjoying, whether it's 20,000 views, whether it's 30,000 or even less. It's all about building a community, and that's
Mhm.
the most important thing is like connecting with people,
That's
not
true.
like making money or trying to go viral,
Yeah.
because I feel like people start social media with the narrative that they're about to make so much money. Some people do social media and don't make that much money.
Yeah.
Like they say more people don't make full-time income on social media
Mhm.
than those who do.
Wow.
So don't have the mentality of going online like, "Oh, I'm going to do social media because I want to make money." You're going to easily get discouraged because when you don't see that money coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm also talking about is about the hashtags to put on
Mhm.
videos on TikTok.
Yeah.
I thought you've got to put the hashtags, but then you're like, actually, the video you did, you just put it up without
Yeah, no
hashtags.
hashtags. Because I
That's
feel like the
crazy.
algorithms are so advanced nowadays.
Mhm.
Like they don't just do like the hashtags and the title. It's more about the interest. It's more about are you posting content that means something? Like what can people get out of that video?
Mhm.
Are people enjoying your videos?
Yeah.
It's not about the keywords. Maybe it is for you to start like developing kind of like a niche so that the platform knows what you are. Like say for instance, I do makeup. Like you want to develop you want to put those hashtags so the algorithm knows like, oh, you do makeup,
Mhm.
you know? But then after a while it gets to a point where hashtags they don't matter.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you put hashtags in your videos?
I've been putting hashtags, but I'm learning from you now.
Girl, if it's working, just stick to it. But for me, what I've seen, especially in that video, I was like, maybe you don't need hashtags. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that
just
makes
more about the
sense.
video. Yeah.
Talking about videos and
Mhm.
money,
Mhm.
I want to ask you: are there things you just don't do? Like, are there things you just won't do? Like, maybe brands will reach out and be like, "Oh, we're gonna pay you this much if
Mhm.
you do this." Is there where you draw the line, or do you
Oh
just do
yeah.
everything and anything?
Yes. So many you have to do that.
Mm.
I actually so I work with a management company and I always talk to my manager about like the types of videos, I mean the types of brands I want to work with.
Yeah.
When I first signed with her, I made a list of like my favorite brands and those are the ones that she focuses on. If a brand does the outreach and reaches out, then she would ask me like, do you want to do this?
Mhm.
Sometimes I've gotten products and I've gotten things that just haven't worked. And I say no. I'm like, I don't even care if they'll pay me $1 million, $2 million. I feel
Oh,
like
so you can't be bought. That's what you're
you
saying.
cannot be bought, because
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like you have to be true to yourself and your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, when I watch certain people just doing videos, and it's like you can just tell that it's not authentic.
Yeah.
Like this thing is not, it's not working for you. So you have to say no, because for me, what I care more about is my audience and the trust, because I've grown my audience based on trust. Makeup tutorials, like they've tried the techniques and they're like, wow, this has worked. It's changed the game for me. I don't want to break that trust with them, because it took me so long to build this audience. It took me, like, I've been doing YouTube for how long? 2015, I would say.
Oh, that's
8
10
years.
years.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, you're like Maya.
You see, like, it's
Yeah, it's been a
crazy. Like,
minute.
it's been so long. So it's like, why would I just want to blow it up for money, for change? And I feel like the opportunity, I've worked with brands that I never thought I would work with.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm at a point where it's
Can you
like,
tell us some brands you never thought you'd work with and you've worked with and loved it?
like recently I worked with Rare Beauty
Oh my
on their
God.
campaign.
Crazy.
Like,
Ooh, can I say
what?
something?
Yeah, of course.
Guys, you won't believe who was liking her posts. Like, oh my God.
You're so funny.
Selena Gomez. So we're just chilling while the nail parlor. And then we realized Selena just liked your post.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's just like I just never would have imagined like working with it's like literally Rare Beauty is my favorite brand.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, I love that they're super inclusive. I love their products, good quality products, packaging is on point, price is on point. Like,
And I love how they pay their creators.
they do.
Pay you guys, huh?
Yeah, so that was actually the first campaign with creators,
Mm-hmm.
and they do a good job.
That's good.
They make sure to compensate people equally,
Ooh,
which I
that's nice.
love. Yeah, I love that about them. So
I love that. I love
yeah.
that for you. I also love your management. I
Mhm.
think they're doing such a good job.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
think, oh my God.
And I love my manager. Like,
Oh,
she's
that's what I wanted to
awesome.
say. Like, I had you on the phone with her, and it's like, damn.
She's
like
so
a mom. Like,
amazing.
she really cares.
Yeah. Like, she has been such a great support system. Like, it's like, dang, I'll be thinking, like, I'm like, I really needed you to in my life. Like, I really needed you
wow.
to
She's
be
like an answered prayer.
answered prayer, because I used to pray so hard. Because I used to be
Aw.
signed to another management, and I just feel like they were so terrible.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
so terrible. But like being signed to her, like, I feel like it was a blessing from God, because like the way the story happened was just crazy. Like, she wasn't supposed to be my manager, somebody else reached out.
Yeah.
And then she ended up signing me, and I was just like, I'm so thankful that you're the one who signed me, because she's amazing. She's super
Aw.
encouraging, and she doesn't really force me to do things I'm not comfortable with. Like, I feel so comfortable with her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, her
That's
name is
amazing.
Nicole. Yeah, I love you, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like it's such a blessing. And what I love about them is they're not taking your AdSense. Because how we know it in Africa, there's these guys who would reach out to you and they're like, oh, I want to help you manage your platform.
Yeah.
And then they take access of your channel. You give them access. Once they get it, they'll be taking your revenue, like
Exactly.
maybe 60% or 70%.
And then they don't do
30%.
anything.
So you find that as a creator, you're not really making money. And many African creators were in such dilemmas.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bad. You'd meet creators and you think they're making money, but the truth is the management is taking money.
Exactly.
So when I heard you talking about management, I'm like, no way. No way. Until you told me, no, they're not even touching your AdSense. They're actually bringing you, work.
Exactly. And like I mentioned, like my first management they weren't just up to the level. Like, I feel like they milked everything. They were like, yeah,
That's crazy.
I'm gonna get we've done this, we've done that. I'm like, well, okay, then I'm gonna sign. Like, let's sign this 1-year contract. The next month, I'm telling you, something happened. They made me miss an opportunity to be a part of, I think it was like an interview or something, and the brand wanted me to do it for a fee. And I was like, I'd love to do it, And they wanted me to speak about like makeup and all that stuff for their platform. And I was like, I'd love to do it. They blew that opportunity because they weren't responding on time. And so sometimes you're going to have experiences with management companies that are not that great.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, all you have to do is keep praying to God to give you somebody who's going to help elevate you, somebody who's
Wow.
going to help inspire you,
Mm-hmm.
and God will answer your
That's
prayer.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I wanted to tap into a little bit about real estate in Africa. So I do know like you know like a lot of you have a lot of real estate tips in both Kenya and in Ghana,
Mhm.
right? Would you say that?
Yes.
Yeah. So how is it working with like developers in those countries?
Well, the thing is, right now, many developers, especially in Kenya, are the Chinese. The Chinese have totally taken over the market.
Uh-huh.
So, I think they're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I love their designs, very modern, very futuristic. I feel like Kenya had this. The Kenyan houses just look like Kenyan houses. You know the
Mm-hmm.
houses you've always seen growing up. They're just Kenyan houses. Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry. That is so funny.
It's funny.
Because I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so when the Chinese come in and say, "Oh, it's a breath of fresh air," you understand? Why are you laughing, Lisa? Kenyans don't come for me. I know Kenyans already typing. They're like, "Oh wow." No, I'm just being honest. You understand?
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah, it's like, oh wow, finally, a different design. You
Yeah.
feel like you've left Kenya, but you're still in Kenya. Guys, don't be mad. Kenyans are gonna be like, oh wow, Trudy. I think if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it in a negative way.
Yeah,
You understand?
for sure.
It's just like being in China for like forever, and then American constructors or developers come and you're like, oh wow, this is different.
Yeah,
They
something
come, they
different.
come in a different vibe.
Yeah.
So it's world class. It's very modern. So
Mhm.
I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah. And when I was in Kenya, I was like, wow. Like, I was so blown away by the apartments.
I know,
Like,
right?
when they say luxury apartments, I'm telling you, it's actually luxury.
Mhm.
Like, the finishes are amazing. Even like they come with like chandeliers and things like light fixtures. Because I feel
And
like
that's the thing. The other day I was watching I like watching Morgan Piers
Mhm.
Morgan. Do you know the guy?
Pierce Morgan, yeah.
European guy.
Yeah.
Very, very, he's just like my
He's
dad.
British, right?
Yeah, he's British. I love him so much. So I
Uh-huh.
watch him every once in a while, and they were talking about Africa
Mhm.
and about how the West perceives Africa. And they had
Mhm.
this Ghanaian musician on, the one who sang Azonto. Oh, watch me do that, Azonto.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I
The
don't know the
song,
name,
but
but
the
I know
name
the song.
escapes
Yeah.
my mind. And then they were talking to him about how the West perceives Africa in a very poor way, a poor light. Like they only show Africans with the mosquitoes on the skin, not
Yeah.
mosquito but flies. Thin people who look dirty and hungry, and it's like, help us. You understand?
Yeah.
But then he was trying to tell them that Africa has grown.
Yeah.
Africa is now the future. There's lots of amazing things happening in Africa,
Mhm.
and you guys should check it out. And also, don't always make Africa look bad. There's
Yeah, exactly.
good things, and that's what we're trying to do as African content creators.
Yeah.
We are trying to change the narrative. Let me tell you, if you're watching this and you haven't been to Africa, it's an amazing place. It's not as bad as they make you think. So I'm trying to connect it to what you're saying.
Mhm.
When you came to Africa, you saw the real estate and you're actually blown away. That's
I
the
was blown away because we decided to meet up in an apartment, and I remember I was telling her, I was like, wow, I am like, I was shocked, and she was like, why are you shocked? Like, why are you so surprised? Like, do you like it? I'm like, I love it. Like, it's crazy. So, and I love that about your content as well. It's like you're showing people like you can get this in Kenya.
Yeah.
You know, don't think Kenya is like like people used to like, oh, you guys live in huts. That narrative is gone. Okay, Africa is developing.
And that's what I said when I left a comment on Piers Morgan's video. Like, when you guys come to Africa, you'll actually be blown away. And someone said, "Oh, if Africa is that amazing, why are you guys still coming here?"
I mean, people have different reasons to travel. I know a lot of African Americans and a lot of African Americans traveling to places like Ghana because they want to be connected more to their roots. I'm not going to be like, oh, if America is amazing, why are you coming here? You know, people have different reasons for moving. Some people want to move here because they feel like America is better and they move here and then they're like, maybe I was a little bit wrong. Let me move back. And some people stay because they love it. So I personally believe people should move around to find what they want.
Yeah.
Or to have a better experience. Or if you think like you can make it you can make more out of your life by moving somewhere, do it. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You never know until you try. You might be
Mhm.
thinking Africa is this, but then when you travel, you're gonna get blown away.
Exactly.
And talking about what you're talking about, Africa is actually the future. We're talking about making money.
Mhm.
If you're thinking of making money, if you wanna be the next billionaire, I'm telling you, invest in Africa and invest right now
Mhm.
because it's gonna get hot and it's gonna get so expensive.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of investing in Africa, do it now.
Why would you say you would encourage people to invest in Africa? Like, what have you seen?
Africa is the future. Are you kidding me? We're developing so fast.
Mhm.
We have extremely brilliant people
Mhm.
who the West is trying to, to pull to the West because they're
Mhm.
like, damn, you're so smart. Come and help us.
Oh, right.
But I feel like if we get our act right in Africa
Mhm.
and these brilliant minds, okay, you come to the US, come to Europe,
Mhm.
learn what you need to learn, then come back home
Mhm.
and let's build Africa.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Africa is definitely the future. We are growing so fast.
Yeah.
We are getting better leaders. Africa is waking up.
Yeah.
And do you know that Africa has developed super fast compared to where US was at like 60 years old?
Really?
Yeah, 60 years old
Oh,
US.
nice.
America is over 200 years old.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Comparing where America was
Mhm.
when it was
Actually,
60
yeah.
years old.
Africa is the youngest continent, I heard,
Exactly.
which is kind of crazy.
So by the time we get to 200 years old,
Yeah.
we'll be far, far, far ahead.
Yeah.
So come and grab yourself that piece of land while you
Mhm.
still can.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And if you need someone to help you out, you're gonna leave the phone numbers in the description box.
Yes. She's your
Come on,
girl.
I'm your girl.
She's your girl.
That's what's up.
So when I was hanging out with you in Kenya, I did notice like you're pretty. She's famous, guys. Okay, she's famous. Every time we go somewhere, somebody's like, Trudy, I love your channel. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I wanted to know, how do you deal with the fame, and now that you're super successful and making money, how do you deal with that?
Well, I feel like just being humble and realizing that you didn't do it by yourself.
Mhm.
It was by God's help.
Mhm.
And the same God who gave it to you can take it.
Mm.
So you better be humble before He
Yes.
humbles you. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just it. Is scary.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, just help me.
Yeah.
Plus, you see so many people who have it today and tomorrow it's gone. So what's
Exactly.
there to be proud about? You tell
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
How do you deal with it yourself?
Specifically with the fame, I try not to have certain desires.
Such as?
Like I remember I was watching a video where this girl was saying like, yeah, I just want to move to Los Angeles because that, like, I feel like I'll do so much better there. Like there's so many celebrities and there's so many content creators to collaborate with, and she's like, she feels like if she goes to LA, like she's just gonna be famous. And I used to be like, oh wow, like that's awesome, like that's. And then I started believing that narrative, and then I was like, why should you want fame? Like fame, if you can't, fame is like a drug. That's how I like to look at it.
Mhm.
Like if you're always trying to desire fame, to be famous, like you're always just gonna want more and more and more and more. It's just like money. So just kind of like not having it in your heart to have those desires has been something that I've tried to implement in my life, because the last thing I want is to have like the desire of being famous. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's never like anything where nowadays like I'm thinking about or I truly desire. It's like I just want to fulfill my purpose, and the only way I can do that is just aligning with what God has in store for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not even desiring to like, oh, I want to be rich, I want to make so much money. Like, no. Clear out the desires in your heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's not about being famous, it's about the impact you make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So how has your life changed since you started making money?
How's my life changed? Personally, I think I've just been able to be a little bit more like just to number one, to invest more, because it's like I don't want to be able to have this type of career, and then if anything happens where it's like, for instance, like the TikTok ban was happening,
Mhm.
and then it gets taken away from you, you have nothing to like depend on. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to just invest,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like that's how I've changed my perspective on not spending more and not buying things that are materialistic, and investing for your future. Because
Mhm.
when you invest for your future, you're helping like your kids and your
Yeah.
kids' kids and
Mhm.
your kids' kids'. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's how like my life has changed, is like more about my perspective and how I see things.
I have a question,
Hmm.
follow up question to that. Do you think you are happier now because you have money? Because
No.
simple say money makes you happy.
No. I personally don't believe money can make you happy. Like more they say more money, more problems.
Mhm.
And that's true. The reason why is because when you have money and you let people know like, yeah, I'm rich, I got money, I've seen like people like being taken advantage of. Like
Wow.
people like to take advantage of like, oh, you have money. Oh, you say you have all this money. Oh, I have this business idea. Can you invest in it? And if you say no, you're a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're deemed as a bad person. You can lose friends, you can
Yeah.
lose family members all because of that. And also, one thing that I'm implementing more is to give more of my money to help people. So just being more of like a giving person, and I think I've learned that a lot from Kevin, is like to have the desire to give people and help people
But it
out.
can be a challenge because you want to help people, but then people will start taking advantage of you. So how do you draw the line?
I mean, you draw the line when you know somebody is using you, right?
Mhm.
So the Bible says give to the needy. It
Yeah.
doesn't say give to those who want,
Mm.
those who need.
Yeah.
So when you see somebody just wants something for their own benefit, then obviously you're gonna be like, listen, you gotta work hard. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
you can't depend on somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know that can be the mentality for some people. Like they feel entitled to what you have and not find the
That's
need
just
to like work
crazy.
hard for their own
Hmm.
thing. And I think that's just the wrong mentality to have.
I think it's important to learn to say no.
Yeah, of
Sometimes you
course.
have to.
You gotta have
Otherwise,
a
guys are
no
gonna take
man.
advantage of you.
Yeah.
Are you a person who says no when you have to, or is it
Yeah.
hard for you to say no?
Yeah. It was so funny because my sister was telling me the story about this football player
Mhm.
who had a no man, like somebody who like in case like maybe like one of their friends or family members wanted money for like something ridiculous, like they would call him his no man, and his no man would tell him like, no, sorry.
Like someone else would answer the phone on his behalf, or what?
Yeah, like
That's
you hire
crazy.
somebody to do that so that they can say no to
That's
people who want
crazy.
to borrow money.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, you pick up the phone and be like, yeah, I need this money, I think it was Cam Newton. Cam
Mhm.
Newton, the football player. And he was like, yeah, that's my no man. Like I always have him saying no to family members
Wow,
because
that's
they like to take
crazy.
advantage.
That's
I
crazy.
think it's important to say no sometimes. Like not all the time. You have to use your wisdom to know like who actually needs the money,
Yeah.
but you will get, I mean, it's a human being nature to do that, is to
Hmm.
take advantage and to
That's
feel entitled.
crazy. I feel like my hubby is the kind of person who usually just can't say no.
Really?
Therefore, he has to use me
Mm-hmm.
to say nope.
Yeah.
No, like so he'll be like, I'm gonna ask my wife. I'm gonna consult my wife. Let
Mm-hmm.
me ask and I get back to you.
Yeah.
Then he just say, oh, my wife said no.
Yeah. So
But
he's,
yeah, because I usually don't have a problem saying no. Honestly,
oh,
I'll
really?
say no when I have to.
Oh, nice. So you
Yeah.
have boundaries, which is good.
Yeah, it's good. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's scary because guys would think that you're a bad person. You get it.
Ah,
But then it got to a point where it's like, you know what? God
yeah.
knows my heart at the end of the day.
Yeah. So how did you get yourself to build up those boundaries for somebody who's struggling with saying no to people?
I think, should I say I've always been like that because I've not had a mom and
Ah.
I don't have a sister
Mm-hmm.
and I live far from home. Like I'm Kenyan, but I don't live in Kenya. So it gets to a point where you have to stand up for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it hurts you
Mm-hmm.
when you keep saying yes, 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 and then damn, and then it gets to a point where you saying yes to other people get you to a point where you're suffering because of saying yes. So
Yeah.
it used to be hard, but it's like I'm sorry, but you just have to say it in a good way. I'm sorry. It's not like nah.
Yeah.
It's like you have to explain yourself, but then at the end of the day, it's I hope you understand, but it's gonna be a no.
Yeah. And have you had those instances where it's like you're suffering because like this is
Oh
happening, somebody just
yeah, oh
wants to take
yeah. Because
advantage?
sometimes you have people around you who are always asking for money, and you be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, let me just give them, let me just give them,"
Mm-hmm.
and then it gets to a point in the month where you're like, "Damn, I need to buy this, but the money I have is not enough,"
Yeah.
or I need to go somewhere, but the money I have is not enough. Not because I didn't plan myself well, but
Mm-hmm.
because I had so many people to give
Yeah.
the money. Now, see, I'm suffering. Now I can't
Mm-hmm.
afford this.
Yeah.
But had I not given them the money, then I'd be okay.
Yeah.
So you realize, next time I've got to put myself first.
Yeah. I feel like you need to take care of what you have going on. Obviously, you don't want to give get paid and then you give money to people and then now you're going borrowing money from
You
somebody
know what
else.
someone told me? I
What?
think it was Maya, that you have to invest in yourself first
Yeah.
so that you can be able to invest in your family.
Mhm.
For example, if you're always giving,
Mhm.
a time will come, for example, let's say like TikTok, and then it's taken away.
Yeah.
And then it's like, damn, I don't have a source of income. And then that's it, you're done.
Yeah.
But if you actually invested in yourself, for example, bought real estate, even though TikTok is gone, you're gonna have real estate
Mhm.
that can give you money, and
Exactly.
you can still also be able to help your family.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I love about what about investing in real estate is like you're building generational wealth. You're not just thinking about yourself, but you're thinking about like your kids' future as well. And even like your family, you know? So yeah.
Okay. What are you grateful for today?
Um grateful for today. You go first. I want to hear yours
Okay. What
first.
I'm grateful for today, I'm just grateful to be in Los Angeles. As you guys know,
Really? Are you?
we are in California.
Uh-huh.
We're shooting in California. We ain't in Africa. And this is a dream come true. I
Yeah.
mean, this is California. I just used to see it on the movies,
Yeah.
but who would have thought
Yeah.
that I'd even be here one day
Mhm.
with my Kenyan passport? You
Mm.
know, I don't know if it's a big deal to you, but let me tell you, it's
It
big.
is.
And I'm just so grateful.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a big. How many people can do that? You know, how many people can just like travel to the U.S. whenever they want?
Yeah,
Because they have a Kenyan
so
visa.
I'm grateful. California is a beautiful place. It's
Oh,
just
really? You
it's
love
like a
it?
dream come true. Love
Oh,
is even an
nice.
understatement. I don't know what I'd say.
Oh, wow.
And also having you guys makes it even better. Because I
Mhm.
can imagine if you guys were not around, I'd be so bored and lost.
I know,
So being in
right?
California with you guys is amazing. Not everyone gets to do this, and you don't get to do this every day. So I'm grateful for that. What
Yeah.
about you?
I am grateful for those of you guys who tune into this
Oh,
podcast.
that's a good one.
Literally, yeah. I'm super grateful because um I just feel like we can just connect as a community and build something big over here. And yeah, I'm just super grateful for you guys just taking your time to even like join us today. It's a big deal to us. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you
Yeah.
have really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
Drop a comment, let us know what are you grateful for, and
Yes.
also what are some of the topics you want us to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love having you here. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes, and also hit the bell notification so anytime that we drop a new podcast episode, you guys are notified. You're the first to watch, first to comment. We'd love to have you. And if you didn't know,
That's what's up.